Yo, Tony D here, and it is quite cold. And a cold day in hell for our boy Daredevil. This is fantastic. You need to get on this. It's 3 issues. So this thing is going to move at a blistering pace. First issue is great. Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. I'm totally into this. Got the Frank Miller cover. You know how your boy does. I'm getting them all if I can. Frank Miller and Daredevil, they're synonymous. So what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this bad boy. He's older. They do a really good job of getting you to where he is at right now. And I'm going to cover this up. This is my only critique about this, is they should have saved this for maybe a splash page or just a panel on the next. But he goes with Tombstone. He's talking about the state of affairs now with heroes. They use the word inactive, and he's inactive. He doesn't have his powers. They don't get into how he lost them, and I don't think it matters. You got the cricking of the knee. So he's talking to this Tombstone, and I'm thinking, okay, he's talking to Electric. Maybe she got whacked or something, but he talks about running into Jessica Jones, which I thought was interesting. That's a Hell's Kitchen thing. And I believe that's important later, that this is in Hell's Kitchen, and we'll get to that, and I'll tell you why when I get there. But he's just talking about her, about how he's an average blind Joe. Whoever he's talking to, like whatever happened in this dystopian future, there was a lot of fighting, and he talks about how whoever's buried here would have been just swinging away, and they don't have powers. And he even mentions that he had a beautiful life, and as far as the eye can see, it's so bad, but Daredevil is finding the good. I think that's cool with him. He's talking to Fisk, which I thought was a good little twist. That's why I wish that was on the other page. I don't want to be too picky. So then they launch you right into this dystopian world. The artwork is on point. The writing is on point. There's a theme of it's all part of God's plan, how that kind of makes people feel better, like in the midst of just down and out chaos. McNiven does a fantastic job illustrating this crappy future. It's pretty bad. And they mention a group called the DBs. They don't tell you what that is, and I'm still racking my brain. DBs, what? I guarantee you there's, when it's revealed, it'll be obvious. So, like a lot of Daredevil books, there's a lot of push-pull with God. The God's plan was a great narrative in here, and I love the use of red with the scarf and the glasses. There's a lot of that. I just love little details like that. So he has to get on this ferry to get where he's going, and it explains more of just how everything sucks. People sick, medicated. And also, another important part is, and what it reminded me of is phantom limb syndrome. They set this up where he still has the tendencies. He knows his powers are gone, but he's like smelling. He's using all of his senses still. So that, I think that's another important part of the story, especially with a 3-issue setup. You don't have much time. And he gets up to get some air, and there's a guy there. And this guy, he's like the embodiment of how people feel. Talks about the DBs, what's going on. And he's just complaining. You can go to your job, and this guy is there. But he finds out he's blind, and Daredevil pretty much stays quiet. Love the use of red. And you hit this page, excellent page. And then it's all part of God's plan. Boom, I love the tie-in. And then you have never surrender, never forget. So somebody won, and I'm assuming it's the DBs. I'm sure this is a global matter, but we are in Hell's Kitchen. He's getting into Hell's Kitchen. He's making his way to, he has a place where he feeds the hungry. No surprise there. These thugs shoving down some stairs. And he still has some acrobatics. So he saves it, and he even goes through his mind what he has to do. So he has the mindset of his powers. He just doesn't have them. He even tells these guys, take the money, come down to the kitchen. We'll get you fed. And things are so bad, they just take his money. They'll probably go and eat his food too. So it's like, just give me my cane back. I'm blind. And then he like bop. He's just trying to make it. Battle in Jack's house. That's where he helps people. Doing his best. So his hearing is good still, just not super hearing, but he hears this, people running out of there. And bam! That's a good shot. I love the use of green, because I believe green was a big part of when he first got his powers. It's a dirty bomb. It brings back his powers. And it makes me wonder if it was done on purpose. And I'll get to that too. So his powers all automatically come back with that phantom like limb syndrome thing that they set up in the beginning. They really set this up good where, okay, they're back. He's good to go. There doesn't have to be this training montage or anything like that. So excellent work with the writer and the artist. Yeah, he's hearing and feeling, and then he's having memories of Stick. Get on it, boy. So now he's got to find a girl. Radar's back too. Boom. Full superhero now. So he hears heartbeats, and he's going under where everyone's buried. He's looking for this girl, and the responsible party, they're down there, and they're taking, it's obvious it's Captain America's shield. And he hears a heartbeat. Ever since he got his power, he's been hearing a certain heartbeat. And that's cool. It's like a fingerprint to him. He can tell who it is, but boom, Captain America. Boy, he's old too. And I love how it is brutal. He has rebar sticking out of him. He's holding it up. So here's your key right here. This is why this is going on. I like how they do that. You got to have something to center the story around besides him getting his powers back. Captain America knows. He knows the whole story between this girl, and he's telling Daredevil she's important. He even tells him, like, hey, you're inactive. They use that word, inactive. He's like, not anymore, dude. Power's back. He's even telling him to listen. Cap knows he can hear him the farther he goes away. He's talking about the movement of chemicals, part of a plan, trying to figure stuff out. And I try to stay away from going on the internet, going into Reddit, or just anything where it spoils it for me. I don't like things affecting what I'm thinking. I like to do it on my own. Wow, he just kicks in. It's like riding a bike, never goes away. While he's doing all this, he's still listening to that heartbeat. I always love that about Daredevil. That's a cool power. So now he's trying to get to him. Great use of panels. The heart. Frantically heart, frantic heart. That's pretty somber. I love the artwork. It really creates that tone of the emotion. That's hard to do. I know these artists, they work hard. It's one thing just to draw things on a page, but to create emotion with the story, like, it's incredible what these guys do. So here's your bad guys. Boy, they are making him mad. He can hear them. He gives one a little pop. I love this. Pulls the gun. There's no way. Our boy is in full motion. I love that shot. So they make their grand getaway. He's on the rooftops already. So it looks like he's got to slow down. He's not going to catch him. He's even hanging off. Daredevil pose 101. I got your scent. Now here's where the mystery really deepens. Okay. What do you think? Here's your bad guy. Earlier I talked about it's in Hell's Kitchen, so I'm thinking this is Bullseye. Who's the one guy that is just Daredevil's nemesis? So I think that's who that is, but you have a lot of chemicals. He shows he's psychotic. Hasn't seen it in years. I also thought Red Skull thinks so. They're doing a good job throwing in a red herring, like maybe Red Skull with, look how he's like hugging the shield. It may be a Captain America enemy. I'm still thinking Bullseye. They're doing a really good job. Love that shot. And this makes me think that this was done on purpose to give Daredevil his powers back so he can fight him. That's why I think Bullseye there too. That's something psychotic he would do. Oh, wow. This made it even better for me. It's talking about the shield. Hey, you worship this guy, so now you have Punisher. Oh, he's intertwined in the DD universe. And he's still testy. They draw him all old and jacked up. No arms. Let's see what happens. Boom. Empty chest. He got his stuff on. Great shot. Love it. Oh, it's all part of God's plan. So there's your tie that I always talk about. Used in films a lot. They'll start with something and then at the end it'll recopy it. Good cityscape. I love good background. This is 3 issues. You got to get on it. This is getting the Gerber treatment. Oh yeah, fresh Mylar. Get your Daredevil, whether it's cold or warm.